Hello students, welcome to the second session of regression analysis. So hope you remember our previous class on the meaning of regression, properties of regression and three formulas of regression. I hope remember the formulas of regression, that is regression equation, regression line and coefficient of regression. So in today's class, we are going to start with the simple problems on regression. So here's the first problem. Compute two regression coefficient when R equals to 0.8, standard deviation of X is 5 and standard deviation of Y is 7. So here two regression coefficient. I hope you remember the formula of regression coefficient. We used to represent the regression coefficient in the form of bxy and byx. So they have given R value, correlation and standard deviation they have given. So we have two formulas to calculate regression, but still we use this formula because we know the value of R and standard deviation. So bxy equals to R into standard deviation of x by standard deviation of y. Again, the same thing applies to byx. So I'll just apply the values to formula because we know the value of R, we know the value of standard deviation of x, and we know the value of standard deviation of y. So I'll just apply the values here. Bxy equals to R value, that is 0.8 given in the problem, into 5. Standard deviation of x is 5 and standard deviation of y is 7. And simplification of this, 0.8 into 5 divided by 7. So bxy value is 0.57. And we apply the values to byx formula. So byx equals to R value is 0.8 into standard deviation of y, that is 7, divided by standard deviation of x is 5. So that we'll get the value of byx, that is 1.12. So here you can cross verify two properties of regression coefficient. The first thing, if the value of one regression coefficient is positive and another should also be positive. It means both the regression coefficient should share the same symbol. ನಮಗೆ ಎರಡು ರೆಗ್ರೆಷನ್ ಕೋಎಫಿಷಿಯಂಟ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಒಂದೇ ಸಿಂಬಲ್ ಅನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಸೊ ಎರಡು ರೆಗ್ರೆಷನ್ ಕೋಎಫಿಷಿಯಂಟ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಮೈನಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಬಟ್ ಒಂದು ರೆಗ್ರೆಷನ್ ಕೋಎಫಿಷಿಯಂಟ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಅನದರ್ ಒನ್ ಮೈನಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಆಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಚೆಕ್ both the regression coefficients are positive. And another thing, so here you can consider if one regression coefficient is more than 1. So here byx is greater than 1. So bxy is less than 1. So these properties will help us whether our solution is right or wrong. Hope you understood the simple problem on regression coefficients. So let me move further. So here's another problem. Compute two regression coefficient when R is 0.99, standard deviation of x is 10 and standard deviation of y is 12. So of course a simple problem and similar to first problem. So just work out these solutions and I hope you'll get the answer because it's a simple problem. And of course, here's a clue. Again, you should use the same formula for bxy and by. Hope you can complete this problem. And the next problem, here they have given bxy is 0.8 and byx is 0.6. And you should find the value of R. So here R means correlation. So, as far as a solution, you should remember all the properties of regression equations. So, in one of the property of regression, we know that, so regression R equals to geometric mean of bxy and byx, that is regression coefficient, and we have represented this in this format. R equals to square root of bxy plus byx. So here it is the geometric mean of regression coefficients. So now we can apply the values to this formula. R equals to bxy is 0.8 plus byx, the value is 0.6. So R equals to square root of 1.4, and further simplification R equals to 1.1832. So again you can cross verify the things. So R value, bxy value and byx value should share the same symbol. ಈ ಮೂರು ಟರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಸೇಮ್ ಸಿಂಬಲ್ ಅನ್ನ ಹೊಂದಿರ್ತದೆ, ಐದರ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಆರ್ ಮೈನಸ್. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಮೂರು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ ಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಸೇಮ್ ಸಿಂಬಲ್ ಅನ್ನ ಹೊಂದಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಮೂರು ಟರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಇಂಡಿಕೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. So hope you understood the simple problem of under the formula R equals to geometric mean of bxy plus by. And the fourth problem, obtain two regression equations from the following. They are given a chart of mean of x and y series, variance of x and y series, and R value, correlation values. So based on this, you need to obtain two regression equations. I hope you remember the regression equation formula. So the regression equations are x equals to x bar plus bxy into y minus y bar. Again, the same thing applies to y. Y equals to y bar plus byx into x minus x bar. So here you can cross verify. So we are going to find the values of x. So when we know the value of y. So x bar. So mean of x series they are given here. So mean of x is 20. So bxy values that we don't know. So of course, y we consider as it is, and y bar value, the mean of y series they are given here. So the only thing that we need to know is bxy. So bxy and byx we need to know. So this we have to consider here. Regression coefficient. We know that regression coefficient bxy formula is R into standard deviation of x and standard deviation of y. And byx formula R into standard deviation of y by standard deviation of x. But again you can check R value. They have given it is 0.75. But standard deviation of x. So this standard deviation they have not given. So instead of standard deviation, they have given variance. So the next step is to find out the variance. So standard deviation equals to square root of variance. So it is the relationship between the variance and standard deviation. So they have given the variance and we need to know the standard deviation. So standard deviation from the variance we need to find out standard deviation. So I'll start from here. First, you should remember, I'll repeat the steps. So regression equation they are given. In this equation, we know all the terms except bxy. So we need to find out bxy values. So regression coefficient bxy formula we know that, and in this equation, in this formula, we need to find out standard deviation because they are given variance instead of standard deviation. So we need to find out first standard deviation and then regression coefficient. So standard deviation formula is square root of variance. So for that reason, so we should start from finding the standard deviation. The standard deviation for x series. The standard deviation equals to square root of variance. So square root of x series variance is 4. So square root of 4, the value is 2. And again, the same thing applies to y series. Standard deviation equals to square root of variance, that is 9. So standard deviation is 3. So now we know the value of standard deviation of x and standard deviation of y. So I just apply these values to formula. Vxy equals to R value given in formula 0.75 into standard deviation of x is 2 divided by standard deviation of y is 3. So Bxy value is 0.5, and here Byx values, R value is 0.75 into standard deviation of y. So it is standard deviation of y is 3 and standard deviation of x is 2. So the value is 1.125. So now apply the values to equations. X equals to x bar given in the solution, given in the problem 20. The mean value of x series 20 plus Bxy. So this value we have identified here. Bxy value is 0.5. I have considered here. Into y minus y bar. Y we will keep as it is minus y bar. So y bar value mean of y series, that is 25. I'll just simplify this. X equals to 20 as it is 20 plus 0.5 into y is 0.55. Again 0.5 into minus 25, it's minus 12.5. So further simplification, x equals to. So here 20 minus 12.5. So we have two terms, 20 and minus 12.5. So it is 7.5 the difference, and plus 0.5 y. So we cannot adjust this with other terms because here we have a variable y. So 0.5 y. So this is the first equation of regression. So ಇದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ರೆಗ್ರೆಷನ್ ಈಕ್ವೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. ಇದನ್ನು ಫರ್ದರ್ ಸಿಂಪ್ಲಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. And so just apply the values to second equation. So here y bar, they have given 25 plus byx. So here we have found out that 1.125 into x will keep as it is minus x bar. So here x bar is 20. Then I'll simplify this. So 25 plus 1.125 into x, it is 1.125x. Again 1.125x into minus 20. So it is minus 22.5. Then further simplification, 25 minus 22.5. So it is 2.5 plus 1.125x as it is I had written. So this is regression equation 2. So like this, we have to calculate the regression equations for a given problem. The regression equation 1 and regression equation 2. So here I repeat the major steps. The step 1, regression equation we have taken, but we don't know the value of bxy. So we need to find out the value of bxy in the steps 2. But again, we don't know the value of standard deviation. So the step 3 will appear standard deviation equals to square root of variance. So our solution should start from here. So after identifying standard deviation, we apply the values to regression coefficient, and after identifying regression coefficient, we applied the values to regression equation. So hope you enjoyed. If you have any doubts, you can ask at any time. And we have a similar problem here, and just to find out whether it is possible to find the solution or not for this solution. The major changes is in the form of estimation. So they have given obtain two regression lines from the following. They have given x bar, they have given y bar, standard deviation of x, and here variance of y and r value. So based on this, you need to find out regression lines, and you should estimate the value of x when y is 70 and value of y when x is 58. So try to analyze the problem, and in the next class we are going to solve this particular problem. We are going to start with the discussion of this problem. Thank you for watching. Take care and happy learning. So regression lines formula we'll use. There is a hint for your solution. And of course, I hope you remember the summary of today's class. So we have started with the simple problems on regression equation x and y. So x equals to a formula x equals to x bar plus bxy into y minus y bar. And the same thing applies to y if equation. And regression lines we have seen, and regression coefficients. So we apply the values to regression equations and simplified so that we have got the regression lines and regression coefficients bxy and byx that we have identified. So we should remember these three formulas so that we can solve any problem under regression. Thank you for watching. Take care and happy learning. We can meet in the next class for regression estimations.